YouTube, welcome to my channel, Last Conditioning. Alex Bromley is one of the best in the fitness industry, if you ask me. And the reason really being is that he has a lot of knowledge and know-how and a lot of experience. I may be biased, as some people will say, because he practiced strongman, I practice as well. But that aside, he has been training for a very long time and have tried very different things throughout the years, and he always talks about his experience, much like someone who is Alexander Bromley does. Always talks about what they've done, what the experience that worked or didn't work, or in Alexander Bromley's cases, who also happens to have coached people, he have talked about how certain things helped him specifically tremendously, but for someone else it was awful. And this is an aspect that is very often overlooked in training, especially when we move towards more the science-based community, where people look at studies and be like, well, this exercise created X amount of more growth in X muscle compared to that. And that could very well be true. However, the issue is, if you happen to get a lot of, say, elbow pain by doing skull crushes with a barbell, which is something that happens for me as well, then even though there can be studies that will show like case it's an extremely good exercise, if you cannot maintain that exercise for a prolonged period of time without running into injuries, then for you as a person, it's ultimately a worthless exercise, which automatically would put that for you as a person into like an F tier category. Whereas something that can be less quote unquote optimal, if you can run it all year long and you respond incredibly well to it, then for you it automatically becomes like an S or A tier type of exercise. And I use these terms simply to paint you a picture. Just because some influencer said X or Y exercise is an S tier and you try it and you may not like it, or you may actually develop pain from it, even worse really, then you run into the issue of being like, well, they said it was such a great exercise, but all I get is pain. Then what should I do? Exactly. And this is one of the things why I say Alexander Bromley is so good, because he have tried a lot of different things and see what really worked for him and what he liked and what he didn't like. And he have also showed, even in some sort of like off-season phase training for strongman, how you can actually get good amount of work done in a relatively quick amount of time. He also happens to be a dad. So at times, it's actually going to be extremely important for him, even though he is also a strength athlete, that he can get his work done that he needs in a relatively condensed amount of time. He's not necessarily going to have time every single day to like rest or train, for 3-4 hours a day of training, because he has a little boy he has to take care of. So that's also an aspect that becomes incredibly important. He shows that even as a strength athlete, at least in the off-season type, that you can get a lot of work done with just a few well-selected exercises, and you can get a lot of developmental work done in this particular manner and get a good amount of growth and stimulus. It may not be necessarily quote-unquote the best or most optimal, but the thing is, getting something that is good enough will beat optimal. If you can only do optimal for a short period of time and you cannot maintain it, then doing something that is good enough will ultimately beat it if you can do that consistently for months or years on end. Then optimal doesn't matter. Thank you for watching. Last Conditioning, signing out.